Hi, everyone. My name is Polina Raygorodskaya. I'm the CEO of Wanderu. So I want to start out by sharing an interesting fact. Less than 70% of 16 to 24-year-old Americans had a driver's license in 2013. This is the lowest percentage in history. So let's take a deeper look into this generation, millennials. In 2017, US and European millennials will have more spending power than any other generation. They're already spending over $200 billion in online travel. This is a lot. They're connected social explorers with severe ADD. This generation grew up using the internet, making friends with people all over the world that they've never met, and sharing their entire lives on Facebook. They demand instant gratification. They value experiences over comfort or price, and they're loyal to companies that make their lives easier. And similar to the trends of millennials not getting driver's licenses, they're also not buying cars like previous generations. In fact, from 2007 to 2011, the number of cars purchased by millennials dropped by 30%. So how are millennials different from previous generations? Well, for starters, for this generation, owning a car is not considered a key status symbol. Owning a smartphone is. For previous generations, having a car was something that you felt like you worked for, and the type of car that you had is what made you as a person. But for millennials, this is no longer important. They like the ability of not being tied down, being able to get around, and have somebody else drive them. Millennials also prefer to use public transportation or get driven around by Uber or Lyft. 74% of the 750 million bus trips taken in the US last year were taken by this age group. This generation also wants things quickly. They have very little patience for bad technology. They want it fast and they want it now. It's all about instant gratification, speed of use, and efficiency. But before Wanderu, this is what bus and train booking looked like. Technology was extremely outdated, and there are still providers that don't have online ticketing. So you go to their website, and you literally have to download a PDF schedule like this, and then you have to try to figure out timetables, and it's impossible to book tickets online. Even those that do have online ticketing, there are a lot of different options between major city routes. For instance, here you see between DC and New York, which is just one popular route in the US, there are over 10 different reputable brands that serve that route, compared to just 6 airlines that fly that same route. So you actually have significantly more options for ground travel than you do for air travel, but yet each time somebody would have to go to 10 different websites. Oftentimes, the websites of bus companies don't even have mobile sites. So you have to go and plug in a computer and then go to 10 different websites, see who's traveling at the time that you want to travel and for what price. There's hundreds of brands across the US and Europe. So this is what the process looked like for people that wanted to book ground travel before Wanderu. So Wanderu solved that problem by building a super easy to use point-to-point travel search. You can type in any address, city, point of interest. We find the closest station from where the person is traveling from and where they're traveling to, even if it's outside of a major city. And then we show them transit directions to get to and from the station. We also route multiple providers together. So if somebody has to go somewhere that requires, say, 2 buses or a bus and a train, the customer would be able to find all of the entire route on Wanderu. They would enter their information only once through our booking form. Super easy to use, takes seconds to book, and each of the reservations go directly to our partners, and the tickets come directly from our travel partners to our customer, and they're able to get all of that in just a few clicks. Our mobile apps, which launched about 1.5 years ago, are some of the highest rated apps, not just in ground travel, but in all of travel combined. We won countless awards for our apps, and again, it's all about ease of use and efficiency. Customers can save their information, they can save their favorite trips, and be able to book in seconds compared to, hours, if not having to go directly to the bus company's ticket counter. So current coverage, we, as of last month, launched in Europe. So before, we are the largest ground travel search in North America, and now we're live in Europe as well. We cover 26 countries, 101 carriers, 3,281 cities, 631,000 direct routes, and 2.8 million routed routes. Those routed routes are only possible on the Wanderu site through our unique routing technology. And this slide is actually outdated because as of today, we launched Deutsche Bahn. So Deutsche Bahn is now live on Wanderu. So it's very exciting and very timely for this presentation. So our routes and coverage has increased significantly because Deutsche Bahn has a massive network. We also have over 200 partners under contract that we're integrating. And over the next year, we expect to grow coverage by 200 times. So why hadn't a ground travel search been built before? If you look at the airline world, over a decade ago, all of the airlines came together and they standardized their data to be able to use and to be able to share that data with travel agents from all over the world. This made it easy for middle-layer technology companies to come in, take all of that standardized data, and create a unified feed, which they license to consumer-facing sites like Kayak, Expedia, Orbitz, so on and so forth. In the ground travel space, there's hundreds of companies, so significantly more than airlines, but their technology is very outdated. They don't have any standards for station codes, carrier codes. There's no standardization of data whatsoever, and they don't really share their data. They also, many of them don't have APIs to be able to share their data outside of their own reservation system. And so middle-layer technology companies just didn't exist in this space. So Wanderu built both the middle-layer technology company and the travel search, the consumer search for ground travel. So we're the first company to establish partnerships with all of the largest ground travel providers across North America and now in Europe as well. But even with these partnerships, these companies didn't have the technology or APIs to easily connect to their systems. So we've built the first middle-layer ground travel technology company, which collects all the various disconnected data from our partners. We standardize that data internally, including routing multiple providers together. And we've built out a central reservation system to bring partners that aren't online. And this allows millennials to search for travel the way they want to plan it, from door to door, using our point-to-point search technology, live intelligent routing, and transit directions to get them to and from the station on both desktop and mobile devices. Wanderu is the only truly multimodal ground travel search that combines the different modes of transport and allows people to search and book travel from point to point and reach any destination within our network. As a result, 30% of sales that are done on Wanderu cannot be booked on any other site, whether it's the bus or train company's website or another OTA. And the reason is because of that unique technology where we pulled multiple providers and put them together into one route. And so this creates a fully incremental sales channel for our partners. So since we've launched, we've served over 40 million users. We launched in August of 2013. And we serve about 3 million users monthly now, and this is growing about 100% each quarter. And 80% of our users are, in fact, millennials. 91% are under the age of 44, so it's a very young audience. And again, these are the generations that demand instant gratification and don't want to have to go to 20 different websites to book tickets. So why do millennials love Wanderu? Well, for starters, mobility. Wanderu allows our users to book on the go. 65% of tickets that are purchased on Wanderu are made on mobile devices, so very much mobile first. Flexibility. So our users love flexibility. Millennials love flexibility, the ability to book tickets on demand. 85% of tickets that are purchased, bus and train tickets purchased on Wanderu, are purchased within 3 days of travel. So it's a very last-minute purchase that is driven around time. Only 3% of our users sort by price, so they're not price sensitive. They want tickets that work around their schedule, and it's very much schedule driven. Can we go to the next slide? Oh, point-to-point searching made easy. So this is another thing that millennials love. Because car ownership allows you to go from door to door, ground transportation is very challenging without having that ability. So Wanderu allows you to search from your address of your home to your friend's address at the final destination, and we find the closest bus stations or train stations from where you're going and where you're traveling to. And millennials can book a whole cross-country road trip just as easily as calling an Uber. So Wanderu, we're the simplest way to book bus and train travel. Thank you. And I think we have some time for questions, so if anybody has any questions, you can ask them now.
My question is, in the US, what is the percentage of foreigners using your service as opposed to US-based clients?
So our brand is very much US focused. So 85% of all of our users are US, 15% are international.
What happens when the schedule actually changes and the bus gets canceled and let's say it's a part of just part of the route, but it's not the entire route? So like, how do you guys work around it? Like, let's say if I purchase a plane ticket, which is a part of a package through Expedia or Priceline, they call me back, they try to work around it right away. What do you guys do? Because buses get canceled, Amtrak doesn't work really well. So this kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah, so surprisingly, it happens a lot less frequently than you would think. So when we make very clear to our users that this is a travel kind of search technology, right? So they take the responsibility of booking with each individual carrier. So we educate our users throughout the way. But we add in based on all of the data that we have on the space, right? So we've been doing this for over 3 years now. We served millions of customers. So we know kind of if there are connections. We look at time of day, we look at traffic, we look at a lot of things, like a lot of data that goes into our routing technology. So if you're traveling sometime during peak rush hour, we automatically put padding in between our routed trips to take into account time of day, traffic, and things like that. If there's completely extenuating circumstances where it's not about traffic, something happens, whatever it is, unfortunately, they have to take responsibility for that on their own, and that's something that we educate them throughout the process. Because these carriers do not partner with one another, and they never would. If that customer wanted to take that trip, they would have to book those tickets separately anyways. So there's really no solution that would allow them to combine those options and travel. So either they have to book on companies that partner with one another, which just doesn't happen in this space, or they have to take responsibility for it. Unfortunately, it's not something that we can control. But I can say that we about 30% of our sales are for tickets that are either routed or are a nearby search. And over the past more than 3 years that we've been live, the amount of people that have had that happen is very, very small percentage. So it's something that can happen, but it's a very rare occurrence. But it's a good question. Any other questions? Okay. Oh, someone over there.
Are you offering any affiliate programs through your website? So if I'm an agent, can I get some commissions by selling or redirecting my customers to your website and eventually to whatever provider you have?
Yeah, so we work with different partners on affiliate type model. We have widgets that can be placed on third-party sites that allow people to search directly from that site's website. We have links that we also have. So definitely, if you're interested in our affiliate program, come chat with me and I'll connect you with the right people at Wanderu.
Hi. I was
Hello.
curious if you had an API for like OTAs to use to integrate that into their platforms.
So we do have an API currently available for our own internal use. We have not yet opened it up to third parties. However, we're starting to speak with select strategic partners that might make sense for us to share our data with. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, please come chat with me after. Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure sharing with you. Have a show.
Thank you very much, Polina.